Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator here in the US in Andover, Minnesota, and I'm here to bring you another live paper crafting class. And I'm so excited. I love to share with you. Oops, let me take that off the screen there. I love sharing with you, and this particular card, or two cards I should say, is using new products that are so fun. I'm some of my favorites here. So welcome to all of you. We are transitioning from a catalog that is has retiring products in it to a new catalog. So I'm going to bring you quickly to the desktop and I'm going to share images of these two catalogs. This is the one that is leaving us. This is the current July through December mini catalog 2022. And there are items in here, lots of items, almost all items that are leaving. And so you will want to check out the online store. You can visit my blog at stampyourartout.com and click on the shop button. And then you'll be able to see what items are leaving. And how, some of them are discounted. It's really awesome. So check that out. Make sure that you look through those items because once they're gone, they are gone. Now we have another catalog that we are moving into. This one is the January through April 2023 mini catalog. Remember when we had the catalog last for about 6 months? This one is ending a little bit sooner. They're doing some changes with mini catalog timing. This one is going to end at the same time as the annual catalog, and that is this one here. So that when the in colors, because a lot of you know this issue, in colors come and go. It's a group of colors that come and go. They last for 2 years. And when the current 2021 through 23 in colors leave us, sometimes those items, those colors end up in products that are in the mini catalog too. So that's why they're ending them at the same time, because it's really hard to get coordinating colors of cardstock and inks and all of that for some of the products that may have had some of those retired colors from the mini catalog. So that is the reason, if you were wondering why such a short timeline, okay? I can't open these catalogs for you yet, the new stuff, because they're not current, and that is the rule. And so I won't be opening these online until January 5th or after. This is another brochure that is starting January 5th. This particular brochure isn't really a catalog, but you can shop from products from it. You just can't purchase them. You have to earn them. This is our celebration promotion. It happens, well, it has been happening twice a year for a couple of years now, but now they're moving back to once a year. So this will be our once a year time. And every $50 that you order gets you a pick from the catalog. If you purchase $50 worth of product during January 5th through February 28th, you'll be able to pick one of the level 1, they call it, and they do say $50 next to them. If you purchase $100 worth of product, then you can pick either two that are at the $50 level or one that is at the $100 level. So look forward to January 5th. New products in this catalog and new free picks. And but don't forget that some of this stuff is leaving, okay? I had to mention that because we're bringing in some new stuff today. We are bringing in these new items. I got 4 new items, and so they are not linked in my product description yet because they're not live. The products aren't live. So you're just going to have to trust me that these are awesome, and you'll just write it down on a piece of paper or wherever and come back on January 5th so you can purchase them. This is the Love Cats stamp set. We're going to be using this one. So cute, right? And this is the set of dies called the Alphabet a la Mode. Scrapbookers. It's awesome, right? Perfect size. I want to say they're like an inch. Let's see how high they are. They are 1.5 inches high, these letters, and they're thin, so you can get lots of letters on a scrapbook page. So yes, Alphabet a la Mode, but they're great for card making too. We've also got the pastel adhesive back sequins, which I obviously love because I am using them up. You get 2 sheets, 2 different sizes, 3 different colors. And then this paper, and this paper is called the Rain or Shine Designer Paper. So fun. It's a specialty paper. Can you see the glossiness to it? There's glossy areas. almost like they're wet, which is kind of fun because that's, you know, rain or shine. Hello, there's rain on it, right? And so you've got these fun little characters. You've even got characters that will die cut with the coordinating dies in the suite that this paper belongs to. We've got some papers that just have shiny raindrops, like a nice sunny day with rain, or a nice sunny day, a nice rainy day, or we've got a really stormy day. And then we've got some umbrellas, and we've got this scene that has some outlines of clouds that are shiny, really pretty paper. Now let's look at the flip sides of these papers. This is the flip side, or side B, you might want to call it. You can see the different patterns and designs here. We've got a lot of Flirty Flamingo and Mango Melody in the colors of this paper, especially on the B side. And you can see that one of the 12 sheets is already missing. You get 2 of each of these double-sided designs. This one here I've loved up, and we are using on the card today. The colors that come in that particular pack, there's more than just these, but these are the main colors. So you've got your Cajun Craze, Old Olive, Balmy Blue, Flirty Flamingo, Mango Melody, Basic White, and Basic Black. These are the 4 that will be used in the card, or cards, that we're making today. We're also going to bring in some dies, and these are the Stylish Shapes dies. All right, so now on that note, it is Wednesday, December 28th, 2022. Next year will be 2023 when I come back to you live. I would love you to welcome Trisha Josephs, who is our moderator on YouTube. When questions arise during my demonstration today, she's there to help us out. Please give a big warm welcome to Trisha Josephs. And then if you're watching on Facebook, make sure that you say hello to Lisa Marshall. She's my moderator there. And again, she's here to help us out. So thank you so much. And thank you to all of you who are joining live. Thank you if you've been with me for a long time. Bless your hearts. And thank you if you're new. I hope that you sit back and enjoy. Please comment when you feel the need, or when you just want to have a conversation. If you have a question to ask, tell us about your weather. I love hearing about places where you guys live. Tell me how long you've been crafters. It's fun getting to know you. Okay, so I do want to mention that if you comment, you get entered into a prize drawing. If you share the video and mention that you shared, you get entered into a prize drawing at the end also. Let's move on. Let's go to our supply list. You can take a screenshot of this if you want to, or here we go. Or you can wait for the blog post to go live at 12:15, which is a little over an hour from the beginning of this video. So it's called the Love Cats Cut Flat Fold Valentine card. So you can see already little miniature pictures of what we're making. I've made several of these because my club members are receiving this card shortly. I got to get them in the mail to you. But thank you, club members. So you can see the measurements are listed there, and then we've got supplies. And if you download this sheet from my blog post, you'll be able to click on most of those products. Again, some of them are not live yet. So like the first few that are listed here, you can see my arrow is not even, it's not able to click on. Oh, all of a sudden we have the hand there. I can click on Stylish Shapes because that's a current product. So you will be able to click on most of these items here. Notice also that it just says base cardstock and accent cardstock instead of certain colors, because I have 2 different versions of this card, and at one point we'll be using the Flirty Flamingo for the base, and the other point we'll be using Mango Melody, but then they switch places. Okay, so all right, so we're gonna move on. Again, you could take a screenshot if you want to, but then you have my head in the way. So don't do that, just wait until the blog post goes live. Let's start with I think we're gonna do the Flirty Flamingo card base one all the way through. So you're gonna use your 8.5 by 11 cardstock, and I'm just gonna do a quick zoom out just a tad there so you can see the full sheet. 8.5 by 11 cardstock, you're gonna cut it down the middle and then cut it down the middle again. So we're not gonna do any scoring for this base. This base piece is going to be just 1/4 of the sheet. So half of 8.5 is 4¼ I'm lining up this edge with the 4¼ inch mark, making sure that this edge up here is really snug to the top of my trimmer, and then I'm moving the scoring blade out of the way and slicing. Thank you, Ramona, for sharing, and I love all your emojis. Your comment stood out because I see all the emojis. I am so not good, by the way, at looking at people's comments during the live, so please forgive me. Yes, and for those who are not in the US, the pricing is a little bit different. It depends on your market. So I am speaking on behalf of the US market. Half of 11 inches now is 5½. So we're going to bring it to the 5½ inch mark and slice. And if you do that with all of this sheet, you can get 4 card bases from it, if that makes sense. So here's our card base. Now the thing with the card base is, if you saw in the measurements, it said a little less than 5½. So what we're going to do is we're now going to come in and we're going to cut off a 1/16 of an inch. So I'm going to start at the 5½ inch mark and then bring it back a 1/16 of an inch. And that basically covers up the darkness on the Stampin' Up! Trimmer so that you no longer see it. It just kind of goes right up to that where the white begins. You see that there? So here's the channel of the trimmer, and that little width there is a 1/16 of an inch. So on that note, there we go. So we're going to slice that off, and you'll know the reasoning for that soon. Let's work with our black cardstock now, because we also need to make the part that flaps. 2 weeks ago, because I wasn't live last week, but 2 weeks ago we did a flap fold card. This is also going to be a flap fold card, but we are cutting into it. Melanie, you've been watching me for 3 years. Love. Thank you. All right, so now we're going to cut this one, and we're going to cut it in, oh, gotta zoom out. We're going to cut this one in the long direction here. So we have a nice long strip that's 11 inches long. We're going to cut it at the 2 3/4 inch mark. And if you do that with this whole sheet, you can get 3 from one sheet. So 2 3/4 inch mark, slice, and then we're going to turn in this direction, and we are going to score at 5½. Okay, so this one is not just under 5½. This is exactly at 5½, because that's the size that most cards are, is 5½ inches tall. They fit into, or wide, they fit into our medium-size envelopes. And when we place this over the top of this card, you can see that we'll have some room for leeway in case, because see, this is just under a 1/16 of an inch. You see that little smidge of black there? There's a tiny bit on this edge here. And so we want to make sure that we don't have this going on when we put our card together. We want the black to go all the way down, and that is the reason for cutting off a 1/16 of an inch on this base piece. Now let's trim up one more, and that is our designer paper. So if we look at our designer paper, our 12 by 12 sheet here, you can see that most of the color for Mango Melody is down here, and most of the Flirty Flamingo is up here. For this card, because we have a Flirty Flamingo base, we want to have a mostly Flirty Flamingo coloring at the top. So if we trim in this direction, and I'm not going to trim it yet, but I want you to just imagine a cut right through here. You can see that this is mostly Flirty Flamingo with a hint of Mango Melody in it. If we're doing a Mango Melody card base, then you would cut in this direction, because you can see mostly Mango Melody with just little hints of Flirty Flamingo in there. Because I'm not making a mass load of cards, I'm going to go ahead and trim all the way down from here so I can save most of this paper for another project later, because I did finish up all the cards that I needed to finish up for my club members. So one of the pieces is going to be an inch wide, and one is going to be a 1/2 inch wide. And I'm using the measurements on this side of my trimmer. Some of you are probably like, what happened there? So that's why I did that, because, yeah, sorry, my tape just came undone. Oh no. All right, so this wastes way less cardstock than trimming that whole strip across at 5.5 inches first. Now what I want to do is use the mostly flirty flamingo end or side, and I'm going to go to 5.5, but just under. So a 1/16 of an inch under, and let's just cut them both at the same time. If we put them snug right next to each other, we can do that. All right, so we have our pieces, and this one I could use for my Mango Melody base. We have our pieces for the designer paper. The only other pieces that we need now are our scraps. And oops, wrong scrap. We need these pieces for stamping and die cutting. So we need a Whisper White piece, and then we also need the Mango Melody piece. In fact, I think I'm going to go ahead and let's do our die cutting first, right? Let's just do that, get it over with. So, so for this one, I'm going to stamp my Head Over Heels About You with our Tuxedo black ink. And I'm going to stamp it right into this spot here, and that's where I'm going to use my die. That is the largest of the banners. We're also going to use the second to the largest circle size, which is just a little over 2.5 inches in diameter. And let's go ahead and stamp using Head Over Heels, and I'm going to move it down pretty far to this side because we want to make sure that it meets this end real close. Okay, and then let's go ahead and stamp our our kitty. Excuse me, our little kitty here with the head over heel look and the heart coming off of his or her tail. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp this. Excuse me, for the last couple of videos we have had coughing problems. What is wrong? Here we go. We have this sheet here, and I stamped it multiple times without the Stamparatus. I'm going to bring in the Stamparatus. The reason why I'm bringing in the Stamparatus is because you can see little areas where the black just didn't get quite that black, and I want the black to be nice and black on this card. So this is optional, but it allows you to stamp more than once in the same exact spot. So we're going to peel this stamp off, and we're going to attach it. Rachel's going to get ink all over herself. We're going to attach it up here onto our Stamparatus, so it's stuck onto the clear plate. That'll work. I'm going to move it more into the corner though, so we're going to bring this down a bit. That'll work right there. Okay, so let's ink it up. A Stamparatus or a positioning tool like this allows you to stamp more than once. So we're inking up our stamp. We're going to press it down. We're going to lift up. And you can see already it's not super black. I want to make that a little bit blacker, so I'm going to ink this up again. This is not a tool that I linked into the product description, but it may be something that you want to invest in. Maybe I'll have to alter my blog post and my description of my video. Okay, and now we press it down again, and it will go in the exact same spot and hopefully make it a little bit darker. Oh, it did! Can you see that? Our kitty's a little bit darker, and I think just in this little leg area here, get that a little bit more. And there we go. There's our nice dark kitty, our black cat. Now, if I were just going to stamp this by itself once with our block, that's what you'll see on the card samples that I've photographed for the blog. But you will see a slight difference. Let's make sure I'm not going to ruin the area that we're going to cut in. So we just ink it up like this, and we stamp it down. And again, you can see the difference between the darkness of the kitty. I may be over inked on that one. Let's move the ink out of the way and the stamps. And we've got that ready to die cut. We've got this one ready to die cut. Oh, except for we're going to put some adhesive on the back side of this because we're going to now die cut the letters too. So I'm going to bring in Oh, I got to zoom out so you guys can see. I'm going to bring in an adhesive sheet. Adhesive sheets, gosh, these are great, you guys. These 12-inch long, 6-inch wide pieces of adhesive. They're like a little sheet. Oh, you couldn't even see that because I'm zoomed in too far. But perfect. They just add stickiness to the back side of your cardstock. And we don't need a ton of it, so let me trim that up. All right, so let's trim it. Let's just trim it to 3 inches wide by, oh, maybe 5. Okay, so now we can take and stick this onto the back side. Yes, thank you so much, moderators. I saw someone, I don't know who it was, but commented and thanked the moderators for helping us out. Do you see I peeled off the backing here? I'm going to do that again. And one more time. Got these little separations in here, which helps to grab that. And then we're just going to stick this down on the back side here. And what that's doing is it's putting that adhesive directly on so that when later on I peel this off, we have a sticky area so that we don't have to worry about putting glue on all of those letters. So let's bring in the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. We actually have 2 different sizes. We have the mini and we have the maxi or the boss, the big boss, the little boss. Cut and emboss machines. Big boss, little boss. The little boss, by the way, is part of the sign up special during celebration, which I'll tell you about later. Let's use the big one just because we can do more at once. We're going to put our cutting plate down. We've got our base plate, die adapter number 2, and then our cutting plate. Let's take and put this on here, and we'll lay down this banner die right here, and then we'll put some letters down. And for our letters, we're going to choose an I, we're going to choose a U, X, and O. There's our O. I probably did not need that big of a piece of adhesive sheet. And then we're going to choose this little guy, which looks like a greater than, less than sign. And you could, if you need to, use a sticky note to hold down anything, but it looks like it's all staying in place. So let's crank it through. I've got another cutting plate on top. Thanks for sharing the video, Laura. All right. So here we go. So I've pulled this away and you can see I've got some paper in here. So you can take like a little sharp tool. Sometimes the pokiness of your paper snips will help draw it out. Here's our O, and on the back side we have a sticker backing to take off. So that one's done, this one's done, this one's done. Oh, these stayed within the paper. Okay, and then we're going to save this one because we want to cut it one more time. Oh, I was going to say, you guys, where did it go? It fell out of my hands. Let's poke that one out. All right, so there is one of our hearts. So we don't have a really small heart that would work well with this. I really wish we had like a punch or something like that, but we don't. We have some dies, but I don't have them, I don't think. I think they're in the new mini catalog. And then we have a big heart punch, but it was too big for this card. So if you have like a small heart punch or something, that will probably work even better than what I'm sharing with you, but hopefully you're okay with what I'm using today for this card. We're going to stick this back in there. We're also going to put our kitty in here, and we need to crank it back again. So we're going to cut one more time. We're going to cut out our kitty with the circle, and we're going to cut out one more of these little guys, which is now our heart shape. I figured since it was so small, we might as well do 2 of them. And let's line up everything and crank it through. All right. Let's see if this one comes out easily. There we go. All right, so we have our two little hearts and we have our cat within a stitched circle. I love that this allows stitching on the outside too. Do you see this? Let's zoom in so you can see it without shadows. So when you cut out with these stitched, these stylish shapes, I should say, you get a stitching here on the piece that you're cutting out, but you also get some stitching here. So on that note, we do have one more cut to do. We're going to take that same die and we're going to bring it here about an inch away from the edge and about 3/4 of an inch away from the bottom. And then we'll place this on. So I lied, I guess we're running it through 3 times. Thanks, Ramona. All right, so now we have our cut flap fold. This is what I meant about the cut flap fold. Let's move our big bus off to the side and make sure that we can access all the other pieces we have left here. Bring these guys in. Sorry, you guys don't know what I'm doing off to the side here, but I just want to make sure I have everything here that I'm going to share with you. All right, are we ready? Let's do some assembling. So for the base, we're going to add our inch of designer paper on this side and our 1/2 inch on that side. Let's flip them over. Seal adhesive is pretty quick. We'll just run a couple strands of that down the side here and line it up in the corner, which is far away from my eyes, but hopefully I'm getting it in the right spot. You guys can probably see better than I can. And then the same thing here. And for consistency, make sure that it's facing in the same direction as your other designer paper. Just gives more of a flow. Now the measurement between here and here is 2 3/4 inches. So that's where we're putting the black paper, because it's going to run right between them. So let's take and put adhesive on the back side. This will hold on to the back of the card, and you probably don't need all of that. Yes, you can probably cut it off here and save some cardstock. That's totally up to you, but I wasn't in the paper saving mood for our black this time. And we're just going to line that here. I think I did it this way. We're going to line our base up with that section and then make sure it's lined up here when we place it down. And now we've got our card. Yay! And I'm just going to go ahead and bone fold this, make sure it's nice and strong. I think I used the back side of my black for the front. But that works. It still works. And I'm going to trim up the edges. You can see a little bit of designer paper down there. So we'll just use our snips and we'll just trim that up. And now everything's in line. This circle is going to go here, but before we do that, I want to add a fun little accent piece here, and that's where we bring in the glittered organdy ribbon, which in my mind totally has Flirty Flamingo in it. It's got that iridescent glitter through there. I think we're going to use about 16 inches. Let's measure it. Maybe it's more like 15, 16. A little over 16 is what I used, but you could probably get away with 16 inches. And then we're going to make sure it's flat on the back. And I want the knot to be right above the circle. So I've got my two ends, which are about the same distance, sitting right there. I'm going to open this up and I'm going to put adhesive right here in the path of the ribbon. You're not going to feel that adhesive because this paper is going to go over the top of it. So even though it's a ribbon that you can see through, you're not going to see that adhesive. You're not even going to feel it. We're just going to go ahead and tie a knot here. Cinch it nice and tight. And then we'll go this way. And I like to push my ends so that they kind of stick out a bit off to the side of the card here. Can you see that, how they're angled this way now? So then let's grab our scissors that has ribbon on it. Here it is. And we'll trim up the ends. This is my nice sharp scissors because I use it only for ribbons and fabrics. So there's that. And now this piece can either be put on with a dimensional or it can be put on straight with seal adhesive. I choose to do the seal adhesive because I don't want this flap to have to work its way around something that's a little bit higher up. You can use liquid glue here, you can use seal adhesive, but cover that back side as much as you can because it's got to go over the top of this ribbon, which has a bit of texture to it. And when you're sticking this image down, the thing to look for, isn't he cute? I agree with you. The thing to look for is this flat edge here. You want to make sure that that's lined up with, or parallel I should say, with the bottom of the card. And then press it down. On the inside of the card is where we're going to add this piece. So we'll just use our seal and add that here so that these lines are parallel to the top edge, like so. And then using our paper snips, not our ribbon scissors, we're going to trim off the excess that sticks out the back. And I love that when you fold it down, you have that little accent of color because on the front side of the card, we are going to add these guys now. So we've got our hearts, our little tiny hearts. And again, another reason why it would be better to use a larger heart if you have like a punch that's got maybe one that's the size or something, you know, like 1/2 inch, 3/4 of an inch. Okay, so let's take and add these to the front. And what that's going to say is, I love you, or I heart you. So we're peeling off the sticker backing from our adhesive sheets. And then what I think is best is to take and lay them down at the same time. If you lay them down at the same time, then your spacing is even on the outside edges. You can bring them close together, you can bring them further apart. I think further apart gives you more of a look that says I heart you, rather than having them right next to each other with these little guys in there, because these little guys may not look like they're acting as the word love if they're too close together. And if you need to use the take your pick tool to get in there, you can. I have ratty old fingernails that I can't fingernail polish anymore because they've been damaged by fingernail polish. I blame that. Anyways, so there we go on that. Oh, you know what I forgot to do? Wink of Stella. Wink of Stella. Let's do it on these, and then we'll be careful on those. So if you're mass producing a bunch of these cards, which I did, I made them for club members, you want to use your Wink of Stella. It's a clear Wink of Stella, but it has a kind of a champagne-y or goldy shimmer to it. And we're just going to draw right over the top of this paper, and it just glistens. I'm going to show you this piece up close. Actually, let's zoom in. That might be easier. There. You can see the shimmer on one half, but not on the other half right now. So we're going to do that to both the O and the X. And of course, you know what that stands for, hugs and kisses. XO, XO, XO. And I brought in both of these because I don't know which one has more paint on it. I have to buy more of these. Oh, I think it's this one because this one looks really dry. So let's just go ahead, and you can squeeze and kind of tap on it, and it should release some more of it. But I honestly do not have a lot left. So we're using just the small amounts that are left in this pen. It's pretty sad, man. Can you hear it? It's struggling. So I'm squeezing the sides and I'm pouncing, trying to get more out. But I think we've kind of killed it. You know what? That's okay. I'll paint the ones on here on the actual front of the card after I get my new Wink of Stella, and I'll show you the finished ones. But you want to color these before you add them to the card, because then you have all of that mess that doesn't get on the card. Okay, so now let's flip it to the inside. And the same thing. And of course you'll want these to dry. So I should have done this step a long time ago. But yeah, we'll work with it. So we're peeling off the backings. And we're going to put them side by side. And I think I have the X's first and then the O. And do you see how I kind of staggered them so that they're not at the same level? I have one that's up higher than the other. That's because of that circle right above it here, this cut in the flap. So when you have it on the front side, it says, I heart you, or I love you. And on the inside, it says XOXO. And then, of course, we want to have just a little bit more glitz. So we're going to bring in the pastel adhesive back sequins. Take your pick tool, because it's easy to grab these little guys with it. And we will add on the inside a large one here. Oh, come on, stick down. This guy's too skinny. Sticky, I mean. And a small one here. Another small one up here. And then on the front, and we're not done yet. I see one other thing that we need to do on this card. On the front, we're going to add a large one right about here, a small one here, and then another large one. So we've used 3 of each size, and that is going to use up your sequins a little bit more efficiently instead of using one side or one size more than the other, you know. It's nice if you can kind of balance it out. So 1, 2, 3 large and 1, 2, 3 small. The last thing is to bring in some colors. So on this card, because I am using Mango Melody as my accent color here on the lettering, we're also going to use the Mango Melody in the pen. And this is just one of our Stampin' Right markers. I'm going to be careful not to touch the black edge of the Memento ink, because the Memento is water soluble just like this ink is. And if you don't color a lot over the edge, you're not going to draw in that black ink and muddy up your color. And then the last step is just to put a touch of Wink of Stella into that heart area, which I do not have a lot of shimmer left in my pens, so that's what you're going to get on that card. But here is the finished looking one. So you can see this shimmer on the I Heart You section. And you can see it a lot in the pictures, the photographs on the blog post. Thank you, Vay, and thank you, Karen. Thank you for your kind comments. You can see the shimmer on the heart here, shimmer on the letters, shimmer on the inside letters. Valentines are fun, right? Now here is the difference between close together and further apart. So you can decide, you know, does it look better? Does it look more readable? I heart you here, or does it, you know, you decide how close you want your letters to go. And then we've got this version. This version now brings in, and let me just share with you, I'm going to share this first and then I'll go on to talking about this card. I have our colors, our 50 colors of markers. I have our, sorry, our, what are they called? You know, the dark ones? Oh, regals. We have our regals, we have our subtles, we have our brights, we have our neutrals, and we have our 2 sets of in colors in this container, which, by the way, I got from the Country Hive. So in here, I was using the Mango Melody because this particular color does not come in our blends markers. We don't have blends markers in all of our 50 colors, just so you know. But these are the colors that you can buy in pairs for individual colors. This is the dark and light Flirty Flamingo, which we also have in our Stampin' Right markers. If you're going to get markers that are Stampin' Right, the regular water soluble ones, you need to get them in a set of 10. or a set of 5, depending on which family of colors you're getting, just so you know. Okay, so here's the Flirty Flamingo. This is what I used for this card because my accent color now changed to Flirty Flamingo for the lettering, the banner, and the heart. This is where I use mostly Mango Melody strips from that designer paper and a Mango Melody base. Did I run? Oops, I think you have run out of the Winka. Yes, I have. Hi, Linda. So everything else on the card is pretty much the same, except I switched colors and the type of coloring I needed. There's also one other difference. This product right here is called the Sparkle and Shine Sequins Assortment. So you may have thought that I used the blue ones because they kind of look bluish when they're against the black paper here. You could do that, or you could use the gold. But I did bring in the Sparkle and Shine Sequins. Sparkle and Shine Sequins have stars. They have tiny little round droplet looks. They have silver circles. They have white circles. And then they have these guys. Let's see if I can find one. They have these guys, which are round sequins. And they're iridescent clear. So you can put them over different colors and they will just enhance some of the color that's in there. So depending on where you lay this, you know, you see a different look to the sequin. Does that make sense? Because they're iridescent and clear and they've got that multi-color effect to them, even though they're see-through. Those are the finished cards that I made for you. Very fun. Let me zoom out a bit here. So there we go. We're going to open up a couple of these. This is the one where I didn't color it. No, I colored that one. This is the one. No, I colored that. This is the one? Where's the one I colored? Here it is. So we'll keep this one open because the front side is not shimmered yet. And we'll lay that one next to here so you can see those two together. And then this one with that one right above my head. There we go. I do have, this keeps shifting here too. I do have another cut flat fold card, and I'll share this one on my blog in a couple days. But yeah, flat fold cards are really easy to make. Basically, it's just a flap that's gone over the top of a quarter sheet of cardstock. And it just allows you to have images that can still peek whether the card is closed or whether it's open. This is another flat fold card, same design, only I used HB for Happy Birthday. I used our new owl set, which is one of our freebies during celebration. I used some of our designer paper that's a freebie during celebration. And here we have the blue pastel adhesive back sequins in that spot. Same thing where I used shimmer paint on top of the letters. Open it up, and there we have 2U. So HB 2U. It's Your Day also comes from the same stamp set as the owls. So, Penny is giving me a tip on my Wink of Stella. And Carol says, shake it before using. Yes, always shake it before using. But Penny said, I got to read this one here. It's gone. You guys are talking too fast. Shoot. It said something about putting a drop of rubbing alcohol in there. I don't know. I missed that one. I missed it. You might have to say it again. I'll try to follow the comments as we go. But she said you could open it up, because these things do open up, by the way. You can take and remove this somehow. I haven't figured it out, but yes, you can take and open it up. Maybe I've already opened it up. You can use these things also for just shimmer paint in general. Like if you wanted to take any remaining ink in here and put rubbing alcohol in there and then put it into our spritzers, then you can have this shimmer mist that you can spray on your cards. I've heard of people doing that. So I will not throw these away. I'm sorry if I said that. Yes, a few drops of alcohol, she said. Okay, if I put maybe one in there and shake it, maybe I'll get some more paint. But I don't want to turn it too liquidy because then it won't work too much, right? So just a little bit is what everybody's saying to me. Thank you. Okay, we'll see if we can get some more mileage out of it, you guys. You guys rock. I love it. See, this is why we add comments, because you teach me things too. So thank you so much for that. So yes, this card will have the details on in a couple days on my blog at stampyourartout.com. So you'll want to, stay tuned for that. Alrighty, what else did I want to share? Oh, the Country Hive. I am going to go to my computer really quick because I want to show you that website that you can go to for, here we go. All right, let's just click away from here, Rachel. The Country Hive is a company run by one of my, get that out of there, one of my team members, Ashley Carlson, and her husband, James, and they own this company that produces these fun organizational products. You may have seen me sharing these items in the past if you've watched my videos. I love their adhesive caddy. But the one that I am using today, Storage Solutions, let's just go there, is the wide marker holder. And that's this one here. It holds the Stampin' Right markers. You have 5 slots going across. You have 5 slots going down. I'm sorry, I'm trying to show it to you. 5 across and 5 down. So you have room for 10 markers on each row, which holds our 50 markers. It's perfect. There's also the marker holder up here. This one here is perfect for blends markers. There's 6 across and 5 down. And blends markers fit in there perfectly, so you can fit a pair, like the light and the dark, and then the light and the dark, and the light and the dark. So you can get 3 colors across. 3 times 5 is 15. You can get 15 sets of blends in there. They've got some great storage solutions at great prices. So you want to check out thecountryhive.com. Alrighty. So what else was I going to talk about before we go? We have prizes to do. This blog post is going to go live in about a half hour at 12:15. If you're looking at the description of my video on YouTube, you can see all the links that you'll need for that blog post. So make sure that you visit back in about 30 minutes for that. I'm going to talk about the 2 Stampin' Cut and Emboss machines that are mini, and the special that's coming up in a little over a week on January 5th, which is next Thursday. Okay, so let me bring you back down to the desktop. Here I am. All right, so these are the mini bosses. We have the white one, which you can purchase today or any day or whatever. This is our mini Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. It comes with all the plates that you need. You can see mine is used, mine is well loved. And it folds up just like our big one so that you can travel with it. It's got a handle on it and everything. Beautiful in the dark gray, silverish colors, really pretty thing. Oh, mine isn't pretty anymore. I gotta wash that. But that's the white one. And then we have the boho blue. Boho blue is in a darker gray and blue coloring. Same thing as our other white one. It comes with all the plates that you need. So you have your base plate, you have your cutting mats, you have your embossing folder plate, and then you have your plate for using with 3D. I think this is the one with 3D. I have to read these. I don't use this very much as my bigger one, just because my bigger one does more faster. But one of these plates is for your 3D folders, and the other one is for your regular embossing folders. And it's a $60 value. Now during celebration, for anybody who gets the starter kit, it's only a $30 value. For anyone who's a current demonstrator, you can purchase this now for $60 using a demonstrator order, just so you know. So current demonstrators have an opportunity to get it now, and then when celebration begins, people who get the starter kit can get it in their starter kit for $30 extra. So there's going to be options with the starter kit. Now, the starter kit also comes with $50 extra in picks. Normally the kit is $99 plus tax, but you get to choose up to $125 worth of product. So that's $25, $26 in free product, right? During celebration, which begins January 5th, you'll be able to choose up to $175 worth of product and only pay $99. Or, and I got to get my thing here so I know I'm saying it right. but I can't show it to you, so I got to keep it off to the side here. So choose up to $175 worth of product for only $99, or you can get the kit for $129, and one of the two machines will come with it. Okay, so you still get that extra product, up to $175 worth of product, but you also, if you want to pay $30 extra, can get the boho blue or the white machine in it. So then instead of paying $99, you pay $129. There's 3 options. Hopefully that made sense to you. Just want to show you some free picks that you can get during celebration. Again, this is all starting on January 5th and goes through the end of February. You have some level 1 stamp set picks, and I don't even have everything here, but level 1 stamp set picks. You've seen the owl, he's super cute. Level 2 stamp set, level 1 papers, really pretty stuff. Level 2 papers, this is a super huge pack. I've already cut into it. So just know that you have options. Don't forget, retiring products are happening now. Next week, I'm going to be live on January 4th. It's the day before all of this begins. And I am going to be in a blog hop. So if you are following my blog and you know that I participate in this all-star tutorial bundle with my fellow demonstrators, we have a team of 12 of us, you know that we hop every month on the first Wednesday, typically the first Wednesday, and we're going to be showing you a new suite, the Fancy Flora suite. So my project next week is really cool. It's influenced by a Christmas card that I received from team member and friend and my assistant, Teresa Glow. I love the card, and so I'm going to be showing you a version of that card next week, along with the Fancy Flora product that you can buy the next day. We're moving into 2023, everyone. So if I forget to mention 2022, or if I forget to, if I mess up on the numbers, just let me know so I can fix things. But hopefully I won't. 2023 on January 4th is when I will see you all. We need to do some prizes. Oh my gosh, prizes, Rachel. I almost left. Prizes. Let's pull those in. Desktop. This is what we're picking from for this week, and I'll explain it in a minute. But last week we had some, and let me pull up my list here. Where did it go? Here it is. Okay, so last week we had the owl or carrot stamp set as an option. It was the same option as the week before because I have a ton of these. I'm buying a lot. Demonstrators get to pre-earn these things. So I have still multiple adorable owls and thanks a bunch stamp sets. So the after live winners, which I'm going to show you in just a minute, they get to pick from these 2 sets. And then I also want to tell you that I haven't heard from Marianne Jack and from Alberta Hoika. You also get to choose from one of those 2 sets because you were winners from before in the last 2 weeks. We also have winners that go back a little bit further. On November 30th, I drew these names: Cliffy Todd Wilson, Mert D, and Jill Meriday. All of you have prizes coming to you too. So if you heard your name called, will you please reach out to me? I'm not going to hang on to those prizes too much longer. Let me move over to the computer and show you who our winners are for the After Live for the owl or carrot set. We have Ellen Smurthwaite. She is our Facebook winner from either the live comments or the after live comments from 2 weeks ago when we did that other card. And then on YouTube, we have Deb Burkholm. So she was our after live commenter on YouTube. So on that note, let's go back to the desktop so that you can see. We have card and envelope packs, I should say, and we have the hand-drawn dots stamp set. If you do not have a bone folder yet, I have a zillion of them, and I can throw that in as a gift to you. So our winners today are Melanie Foy and Tina, went too fast, Tina Gascon. Tina Gascon and Melanie Foy, you are the winners. Make sure that all you winners, the names that we just called out, will you please reach out to me at stampyourartout@comcast.net so that you can claim your prize. I'll need your address, your mailing address. Oops, sorry. I did that again. I clicked somewhere and it just highlighted a comment. There we go. So make sure that you reach out to me at my address, my email address, so that I can get those prizes to you. If you live in the U.S., I will send the prize your way. If you do not live in the U.S. and you're a winner, you still can win. I have tutorials that I can email to you. I can't necessarily send products, but I can send you tutorial bundles. So on that note, you get a choice, right? Make sure that you tell me which prize you want. So on that note, again, we're going to see you next week. Don't forget to visit back to my blog in about 20 minutes so that you can see all the info on these cards, photographs, the downloadable PDF, the recording of this video, measurements are going to be there, supply lists will be there, and we will see you next week, January 4th at 11 a.m. Central Time. Thank you so much, everybody. Now I'd like you all to go, and thank you to Lisa and to Trisha. Yay! Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.